How is it going, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with my college football week 5 predictions for the 2013 football season. And as always, man, it's always late when I record these, so I might not be at my full enthusiastic level that I should be, but sorry, I'm trying to get these videos out, so I'm doing whatever I can do. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I do weekly picks every week and do a lot of other videos covering sports gaming, and a lot of different things. And if you're new to this episode, I go and preview and predict every single college football game for the upcoming week. I mean, obviously some are going to be more in-depth predictions than others, but I try to get through every game in like a 30-minute span, even though sometimes it goes into an hour, and hopefully it won't go into an hour today. But if you notice me looking down, it's because I'm texting, but sorry. I'm still going to do the best I can do, guys. Alright, so going to Thursday night, we have Virginia Tech at Georgia Tech. Man, Virginia Tech fell off the map fast. Defense, they didn't play horrible against Marshall, but they still gave up enough points for them to potentially get beat. Their offense still looked bad. Their offense, I'm not sold on whatsoever. It might be the worst offense, probably the worst offense in the ACC by far, actually. Georgia Tech found a way to beat North Carolina. I think North Carolina outplayed them early on, especially, but Georgia Tech found a way to win. They're still undefeated. They're close to being ranked. I don't really know why they're not ranked right now, but they're on the outskirts of being ranked, which I believe they should be. I think playing at home on a Thursday night, and they tend to do pretty well. I believe last year this was the Labor Day game, and somehow Virginia Tech ended up winning, but Georgia Tech will get revenge and win this game quite easily. I'll say something like 27-14, Georgia Tech over Virginia Tech. And we have Iowa State at Tulsa. Tulsa's not been the good team that we've been accustomed to the last couple seasons. They've dropped off fast, much like Virginia Tech. Iowa State, kind of the same. They're not playing well, but their quarterback, Sam Richardson, I believe his name is the only quarterback in the Big 12 that returned from last season. I thought that was a pretty cool stat and pretty surprising. But Iowa State has disappointed a little bit thus far this season. They lost to Iowa. They lost early on to an FCS school. Just not been a good season for Iowa State so far. They who have they lost to? Let me check real quick. Yeah, they lost to Iowa and Northern Iowa. That's who it was. 2 Iowa schools, and they got beat pretty bad. They got to play Tulsa, see how they can do against Tulsa. But I do think they finally get the first one of the season, and I think they beat Tulsa something like 31-20, 31-21. All right, so let's move on to the next game. Tulsa in for the Thursday night games. Friday, Utah State at San Jose State, a battle of 2 amazing quarterbacks. I don't know if you don't have anything to do on Friday night, and you're at home and don't know what to watch this game, because this is going to be a heck of a game. 2 quarterbacks you could see potentially start in the NFL one day. David Fales, however you want to pronounce it, he's amazing. Saw him play a little bit against Minnesota. He was carving their secondary. Even though they ended up getting blown out, he looked very good, especially in the first half. And Utah State came this close to beating USC. But Chucky Keaton's great. He's a great quarterback. It'll be tough. It'll be very tough. I think defense ends up winning this game. I think Utah State has a better defense. I think Chucky Keaton is more of a playmaker because he has potential to run the ball. David Fales is your prototypical drop back pro style passer, and he's good at it, but he doesn't really have the ability to run. I think Chucky Keaton gives them a little bit more openness as an offense. I think they win close by a field goal. I'll go something like 31-28. Utah State over San Jose State. Middle Tennessee versus BYU is at BYU. Middle Tennessee, they can put up some points. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're 2-1 on the season. 3-1 actually. Their only loss came against North Carolina. They beat West Carolina, Memphis, and Florida Atlantic. But they can put up some points, definitely. Sorry, I need to turn that off. They can sling the ball around, that's for sure. BYU, man, they really disappointed me last week. I thought they were going to beat Utah pretty handily, and Utah comes out and beat them. But I do think BYU wins this game. I think they need to need to be aware because Middle Tennessee can score some points, but BYU's defense is very good. Kyle Van Noy, an amazing defender, one of the best in the country that a lot of people don't know about. Well, he's not that unknown, but he's still amazing, and he can disrupt any offensive line, and I think he'll have a big game in this game. I think Taysom Hill will bounce back, have a big game against that Middle Tennessee secondary, but I think Middle Tennessee will score more points than people think, but BYU will outscore them. I'll get something like BYU 35. No, let's go BYU 42, Middle Tennessee 24. Okay, moving on. Saturday games. You have Oklahoma State at West Virginia. West Virginia, man, I don't know what happened to him. I was one of the few that came on here with picks and said that West Virginia was going to get blown out really bad by Maryland, and they did. They got beat 37-0. Have no clue what's up with West Virginia's offense, other than I know that they're horrible. They're horrible, and they're going to continue to get blown out. Oklahoma State will win this game by 30+ points, probably more than that. I'll go Oklahoma State 48, West Virginia 14. Yeah, it's gonna be that bad. I don't know what's happened. They so quickly they've completely dropped off. But their defense not that good. Their offense is atrocious. I don't understand how you go from one of the best offenses in the country to absolute crap. Big parts of their quarterback play has been bad. Their offense has been bad. I mean, I knew their offense was going to be as good, but with the two running back transfers, they got Russell Shell, Charles Sims. Thought they were going to be decent at least. I thought they were going to have a good run game, but they did bad. And Oklahoma State, we all know high-powered offense. Mike Gundy, great offense, defense improved, no problem, no roll. What did I say? 42-14, something like 45-14, something like that. Oh man, this is going to be tricky. And I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. I'm going to call the upset here. South Carolina at Central Florida. Central Florida is vastly, extremely underrated. They should be a top 25 team, I think, at this point in the season. They're Louisville's biggest test to compete in the Big East. I mean, the AAC. They are 3-0. They have beaten the likes of Akron, Florida International, and Penn State. And they have an extremely good quarterback in Blake Bortles, who's not necessarily he's probably the second best quarterback in the AAC. And he's creeping up there, but he's not as good as Teddy Bridgewater, but he's still very good. He has some great threats to throw to. Defense has played well thus far, and I think they have a great shot playing at Central Florida in Orlando. I think they have a really good shot to win this game. And I could be completely wrong. South Carolina could come out and win by 70. But I think they come out playing at home. Great offensive. I think South Carolina's overlooking them. If I'm not mistaken, South Carolina plays, is it LSU? Who is it? Oh, no. Oh, well, I was wrong. But, wow. South Carolina has an easy schedule after this. Wow. They don't have a real tough game till Florida. Wow, I have not noticed how easy South Carolina's schedule is. Dear God. They don't pull Alabama or LSU at the West. Or Texas A&M. Wow. Okay, but still, I think they get beat by Central Florida. Great quarterback. Good offense. Storm Johnson, the best running back name in the country. I think they come out overlooking Central Florida and get beat. I'll say something like 27-24 Central Florida over South Carolina. Watch out. Could be the upset of the year so far. Alright. Next we have Miami at South Florida. Will be a blowout. Don't know what happened to my Bulls, but they are playing horribly. And Miami should come into South Florida win by a ton. The offense will go crazy and they'll score like 48 points. They'll go 48-20. 48-20. Miami versus South Florida. No problem there. Miami, Ohio at Illinois. Illinois has been playing better than people expected coming into the season. They should have no problem in this game. Nathan Shieldhouse will, I think, lead them finally to a bowl game. They have not been to a bowl game in a few years, but they'll come back, play a good game. good running back play. Wide receivers have been playing pretty well. Illinois' defense hasn't been that bad, really. Tim Beckman's defense was horrible last season, but this year it's improved. Nathan Shieldhouse, I believe, is a very underrated quarterback. I mean, he's not the best, but he gets the job done. He can make plays, and I think he makes enough plays to beat Miami, Ohio. I'll go something like 30. Let's go 37-17. Next, we have Northern Illinois at Purdue, and I don't know what's been up with Northern Illinois. They're still undefeated, but they have been getting played extremely close. They're out on the outskirts of being ranked, and at this point in the season, I think there's 2 teams that have a shot to bust the BCS as a non-BCS automatic qualifier. That's Fresno State, and Northern Illinois. But with the way Northern Illinois has been playing, I think the only team that has a shot is Fresno State. Because Northern Illinois has been, their defense, oh my god, they have been playing horrible. They gave up more points to Idaho and Eastern Illinois than they did to Iowa. I don't know what's going on. They've had to play tough 4 quarters of football against Idaho and Eastern Illinois to come out with a victory. I don't know. I really don't understand what's been going on. The defense is playing bad. Their offense, though, I mean, as expected, has been playing great. Jordan Lynch already has 400 yards on the ground. He's already thrown for 600 yards, 7 touchdowns. I don't know how many picks he's thrown, but I don't know. I think Purdue wins this game. I do. Their defense has been playing horrible until, I mean, they beat Eastern Illinois 43-39. I honestly don't know what the heck happened. He had a bad game. He had 3 touchdown passes the first 2 games and threw 2 picks last game. But still, their defense is playing too bad. Should not be giving up 39 points to Eastern Illinois, or 35 points to Idaho for that matter. So I think Purdue comes out. Rob Henry has a big game. I think they win something like 45-42. No, let's go 45-37. No, 42-35. Northern Illinois over Purdue over Northern Illinois. I mean, I want Northern Illinois to win. I like having non-BCS teams go undefeated and make the BCS. I love it. That's what makes college football great. But it ain't going to happen because their defense is that bad. And I hope they do win, but I have Purdue winning by a touchdown. Okay, I wish my computer would go back and actually work with me here. Okay, I gotta be a little bit faster here. I'm not doing too well here. I need to pick up the pace. SMU at TCU. Okay. TCU should win. I think Trevon Boykin has a big game. They've kind of struggled the last couple weeks. That's TCU. SMU also got blown out by Texas A&M last week. They put up more of a fight than what they did, but I think TCU will have a rebound game. They have not been, like I said, playing real good, but I think Trevon Boykin, wide receivers that they have, defense going big. Devontae Fields will have a big game in this game. They'll win by 21 points. I got 42-21 TCU over SMU. Ooh, here we go, boys. South Alabama at Tennessee. My South Alabama Jaguars going into Knoxville looking for the upset win, which I think will not happen. I'd love for more than anything for them to win. That'd be awesome. And they've been playing a lot better than people expected. They should be 3-0 right now, but they had a crap loss against Southern Utah week 1. That was a horrible game. That was a bad game. That was a bad game. But in the last 2 weeks, they bounced back, beat Tulane, and they beat Western Kentucky last week. A good Western Kentucky team, and everybody in the country shocked the world, really, to beat Western Kentucky. We really did. And Tennessee also played Western Kentucky, and Western Kentucky was giving them fits until they turned the ball over 5 straight possessions. So I think we really do battle in this game. I think we compete. I think our the mix of Ross Matheny and Brandon Bridge at quarterback will be big if we can get to the goal line, bring in Trey Fettner and bulldoze for a couple touchdowns. He's the Tebow quarterback in our offense on the goal line in goal line situations. Their defense will make some big plays. Quarterback situation in Tennessee is kind of up in the air. They've been going back and forth between Justin Hunter and the other guy that played against Florida who played bad. They're coming off the loss against Florida, and for everybody looking into the season and talking about Tennessee football, they have such a tough 4-game stretch or 5-game stretch with whoever they play. It was Oregon, Florida, and I'm not sure they play after. I'm sure Alabama's one of them. No, I don't know, but the South Alabama game has been heralded as the gimme game or the easy game in that stretch, the breather. And I think they'll overlook South Alabama, be looking forward to their tough games, and I think it'll be close. It'll be very close. So much closer than people think. But I think Tennessee ends up getting like a 10-point victory. I'll go 34-24 Tennessee over South Alabama. But watch out. This has all the meanings for an upset. So watch out. I'm sure bias is coming out of me, but just watch out. East Carolina at North Carolina. North Carolina has good offense. East Carolina good offense, but West Carolina has a better offense. North Carolina, obviously, Bryn Renner, good quarterback, great tight end, good wide receiver threats. Defense really disappointed against Georgia Tech. Gave us some big plays, and their offense had some missed opportunities, and they handled Georgia Tech early on, but Georgia Tech came roaring back, won the game. I think North Carolina is better than what the record shows. They should have no problem with East Carolina. They'll win by 2 touchdowns, I believe. Let's go 37-21. North Carolina over East Carolina. Virginia at Pitt. Pitt and Duke, man, they had a crazy game last week. What was the final score? 59-55. Pitt over Duke. That was crazy. But Virginia team that is you gotta judge them week to week. They one week can look great, like they did against BYU, and the next week get blown up by 7,000 points against Oregon. But I think Virginia will win close. I think defense will be the difference in this game. I know Pitt is primarily known for a running attack and better defense, and that was Duke scored 55 last week. I really don't know what happened in that game except the score was 59-55. So I don't know, but I think Virginia goes in, gets the win. I think Tom Savage makes a couple unheralded turnovers. He didn't look that great week 1 against Florida State, and it's the only time I really saw him in person play, or on TV play full game. But I think Virginia wins. Something close, something like 27-24. Virginia over Pitt. Navy at Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky, we'll have to see how they can play against a team like Navy. Watch out, man. Navy is still undefeated. I think I said that earlier. Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois, Fresno State was the 2 teams that have a shot to go undefeated and crack the BCS. Watch out for Navy, man. They've played great. They really have. They beat an Indiana team that I thought was going to be good or better this season. And I thought Indiana was going to win that game. They beat them pretty bad, and then they won last week in the only tough game. I believe they have votes in the top 25. That's all that you need, really. Let me check who they beat. Delaware last week. The week before they had a bye week last week. They go to Western Kentucky. I think they can beat Western Kentucky. I think they can beat Air Force. I think they can beat Duke. I think they can beat Toledo. I think they could have a great shot against Pitt. Skip one game real quick. They can beat Hawaii. Sadly, I think they can beat my South Alabama Jaguars. I think they could have a tough game against San Jose State, but I think they could win. They play Army, which is always a tough game, but they primarily win that game. They won it a ton of years in a row. But the one game they played Notre Dame, and if this team's undefeated, which I think they very easily could be, they're undefeated going in that game. Anything can happen. They could win. They really could. They beat Notre Dame just a couple years ago. They can do it again. If that happens, this is the team that could crack the BCS, and that would be awesome, amazing for a team like Navy. I'm rooting for them. I hope they can run the table and go undefeated and make the BCS. That would be awesome for the last year of the BCS for a academy school, the Naval Academy, to make the BCS bowl. That would be amazing. I would love that. Okay, with that said, I think they beat Western Kentucky the run game. We know how great the run game is. We know how tough it is to defend the option. Western Kentucky's defense isn't impressive whatsoever. They should score a ton of points. I think Navy wins 45 to 31. Okay, Akron and Bowling Green. Akron's horrible, even though they almost beat Michigan, but still they're horrible. Don't know how that happened. But Bowling Green, they should win something like 34 to 21. Troy at Duke. Troy can put up some points now. They have a good QB combo, a running threat, and a passing threat that they mix in, and they just have a good offense overall. Duke was sadly beaten last week, but they put up some points themselves, put up 55 points. This should be a high-scoring game, but Duke should come out victorious depending on who their quarterback is. Either way, I think it'll be a tell of a close game or a blowout game, depending on which quarterback comes in. Patrick, what's his name? Patrick Cornetti? Is that his name? I don't even know. But Anthony Boone is the starter, and he's been hurt the last couple of weeks. Don't know if he came back last week or not. Not sure. I'm sorry. But either way, I think Duke should win. No problem. 45-35 over Troy. Colorado at Oregon State. Colorado, man, they're still undefeated. Head coach came over from San Jose State, and he's played well. Coached well at Colorado. They're still undefeated, even though it's kind of iffy because their last game got rained out against Fresno State, which I thought they got beat pretty handily by Fresno State. But they beat arch rival Colorado State, and they beat Central Arkansas. And it's been 3 weeks since they played, so they'll be coming off a long layoff. But I think Oregon State, that week 1 game against East Washington didn't really show how good they are. They can put up some points, and Colorado's been suspect to the defense the last couple of years, even though I think it's improving under their new head coach. They should win. Oregon State, that is, by, I say 2 touchdowns at least. I go 45 to 27. 45-27. Oregon State winning. All right, Toledo at Ball State. I'm gonna go Toledo. 35 to 31 over Ball State. The quarterback, Terrence Owens, makes a couple plays more than keeps winning, and Ball State does and wins. Wake Forest at Clemson. As much as I would love for Wake Forest to win, there's no chance. Wake Forest, man, they're bad. I like Wake Forest. I'll pull for them just like I have some other teams that I'll pull for, but no way, Jose. Until they stop trying to force the option into their offense, they're not going to score any points. Their defense is great. They did beat Army last week, which surprised me, but I think Clemson should score a ton of points and should win easily. I'll say something like 42 to 17. Clemson over Wake Forest. And all right, here we go. Game of the week: LSU versus Georgia. Oh man, I think. Oh, okay. Give me a second to close my eyes and think of this in my head. Who's gonna win, LSU or Georgia? I think LSU will win. I think Zach Mecklenburg comes out, has a big game. I'm still not sold on the Georgia defense. As much as people were talking about Alabama with Colorado State hanging in with Alabama until the 4th quarter, what about Georgia? They were actually tied up late in the game against North Texas. I think it was 3rd quarter. What the heck? Well, I mean, we're never tied. We've made some bad plays, which kept Colorado State in the game. Had some missed opportunities, but now, legitimately, Georgia was tied up with North Texas. All right, I'm still not sold on the defense. I think LSU, much improved offense under Cam Cameron. I think Zach Mecklenburg is a whole different quarterback, even though he really didn't play well against Auburn. It didn't really matter because the run game, Jeremy Hill played great. I think it was bad conditions too for throwing the football, so that might have a problem with it. But going into Georgia, I think they'll score some points. So Georgia will score some points too. I mean, there's no question about Georgia's power and offense, but I think LSU should win something like, I'll go 38, close, 38 to 35 over Georgia. Florida State at Boston College. Florida State easy. Boston College disappointed me. They were undefeated. Thought they had a chance to shock the world and beat USC and blown out. Absolutely blown out. And that made me sad because I thought Boston College would be an awesome story to be undefeated going into this game against Florida State, which could have upset implications, but they don't anymore. No problem. Florida State was going to Boston College. Boston College defense, not good at all. They scored 40-plus points. I like Boston College. It's like Wake Forest. Boston College and Wake Forest might be my two favorite teams in the ACC. But Florida State, no problem. 45 to 17. Florida State over Boston College. Okay, now here's the game that I was wanting to get to. Oklahoma at Notre Dame. Notre Dame somehow pulled out their butt last week against Michigan State. I think I was wrong on that pick, so kudos to Notre Dame. But Oklahoma, man, they're a whole different team. I think I answered this in a question like this in my Friday questions answers video. If you have not checked that out, go check it out and ask a question for next week. So you'll be in that video. But anyways, they're a completely different team with Blake Belt quarterback. They have a good defense, and a great defense, and that was no question. The question was their offense. They played atrocious on offense. So they had Trevor Knight start the quarterback, and he played bad. Bring in Blake Belt, and he lit up the scoreboard like crazy. Now, coming off a bye week as well, Notre Dame coming off a tough game. I know this game's at Notre Dame, and Notre Dame won this game last week big in Norman, but I think they repaid the favor winning in South Bend. No problem. I think Notre Dame's defense has dropped off so much, and that's bad. I thought Notre Dame's defense was going to be a lot better, but not have that much of a drop off from a team that had a great defense a year ago. Still not sold on their offense, really. I mean, their offense is good, but I'm not sold on it being able to outscore opponents. And in this case, I think Oklahoma has a big game and wins by 17 points. I'll go 37 to 21. Not 16 points, I'm stupid. 37 to 21. Oklahoma over Notre Dame. Alright, UTEP at Colorado State. Just on the pure fact they hung on with Alabama, and they looked not too bad. I watched Colorado and Colorado State play week 1, that Sunday night, the opening week, and I was really impressed with their quarterback. And I think if I would have made a preview video, I was going to say something about their quarterback looking very impressive, but I didn't get to do that. So I didn't get to do so. So you probably don't believe me, but just off that fact, I say they win. 22. No, wait, what the frick? 27 to 17 over UTEP. Next we have Iowa at Minnesota. Iowa, man, they're a team that doesn't ever score points. They're that Big Ten team that scores no points and wins ugly, weird-looking scoring games. They scored 59 points last week. I can't remember who it was against. No, it was against a lower-tier team, but still, they won. And this week they play against Iowa, and we get to see how for real Minnesota really is. They're 4-0 in the season, but they played UNLV, New Mexico State, Western Illinois, and San Jose State. And San Jose State was in the game, respectively, though, because David Fales is a great quarterback, and I knew they were going to be in this game. I can't remember if I picked Minnesota or San Jose State in this game, but either way, I was not surprised that San Jose State was in that game. But they won. They won pretty big, too, so that impressed me. But we get to see this week if against an actual quality opponent if they're good. And I think they will win, but I still don't think they're great. But still, they'll be 5-0 if they win this game. I think they could. So I believe in the last 7 games of the season after this one, they could. More than likely, they'll win one more game somewhere, whether it be an upset or a easier Big Ten game. I think they'll make a bowl game this season. But I mean, like I said, I think I've said this so many times. If you're a team and you're undefeated, I know people hate watching cupcakes and everything, and when you have a team like this get set up with an easy schedule, if you're undefeated and you're gaining some momentum, getting some votes in the top 25 poll, if you're a lower tier team, kind of like Minnesota traditionally is, your team gains momentum, and they can get that much better just on the pure fact that they're undefeated, and they don't know how good they are. They really don't. They played against inferior teams, but still, anything can happen if you're undefeated. But with that said, their run game's been really well. Philip Nelson really hasn't made mistakes, yet he hasn't made big plays. They should win, though. The defense has made a lot of plays, too. The defense has scored a lot this year. But I'll go Minnesota. Minnesota 31, Iowa 21. Next, we have Central Michigan at North Carolina State. North Carolina State big. We want to prove the country that they're a great team after getting snobbed with a victory against Clemson. I'll go 20. What the frick? 42 to 21. Connecticut at Buffalo. Connecticut coming off that heartbreaking loss against Michigan. Two straight teams with heartbreaking losses against Michigan. But Connecticut, I think they'll win the run game. Law McCombs, 27 to 17. Army versus Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech lost a dogfight last week against Kansas, and Army they fought hard against Wake Forest, and that's two games against two teams which are actually, I believe, better than them. They fought with them, and that was Navy. What the frick? Wake Forest and Stanford. They actually battled really hard against Stanford. They were winning early, but I think they should win this game. They should. Louisiana Tech's not a good team by any means. I think they bring back the least amount of starters out of any FBS level team. I think they brought back 4 total starters. I could be wrong, but I think Army wins. They run a game. Santiago at quarterback. They'll win close. I guess it could be a call upset. I'll go 21-17 Army over La Tech. Houston at Texas San Antonio. Houston's still undefeated on the season. I love it when I see teams go undefeated because you never know who can be good and who's pretenders and contenders and who can shock the world. Because if you're undefeated, you still have a chance. Like I just said, Houston wins by 10 points, 31 to 21 over the Roadrunners of Texas San Antonio. Next, we have Temple and Idaho. I think this was also asked in my questions and answers video. Two of the worst teams in football. Two of the battle of the winless. But Temple, I think, will win. Idaho's a bad team. Bad defense, bad offense. Temple will win 31 to 17 in this game. Even though Temple was beat by Fordham, still. Albany at Old Dominion. Old Dominion will put up 60 points in this game. I'll say 60 points. Old Dominion 30. No, frick. What the frick? Old Dominion 62. Albany 45. A high scoring affair, but they should win. Tyler Heineke's a great quarterback. Okay, next we have Ole Miss and Alabama. Sorry, I'm having to send a text message here to somebody. Okay, Ole Miss and Alabama. I'll keep it short and simple so you can look forward to my pregame preview video, which will be uploaded Tuesday morning. But let's say Alabama 34, Ole Miss 24. That's what I'm sticking with. Alabama 34-24. As an Alabama fan, I'm worried about this game. This game reminds me big time of the Texas A&M game a year ago, with my emotions and feelings towards the game. So watch out, but I'll leave it at that. Texas A&M and Arkansas. Arkansas coming off a loss against Rutgers. What the heck? Arkansas 2 straight years with losses against Rutgers. But either way, this could be just like last year when Texas A&M played at home at Cal Field against Arkansas, and oh my God, they blew them the heck out. That's when everybody knew that Arkansas wasn't for real. But it should be much like last season, and A&M should win pretty big. I'll go 45-20 over Arkansas. I think Arkansas's run game. Who knows though? Because Arkansas's run game, I think, will have a pretty big game. Alex Collins should have some maybe 150 yards rushing, but still their defense doesn't have enough to overcome Johnny Manziel, Mike Evans, Malone, Malcolm Kennedy, the wide receiver. It's going to be bad in Fayetteville. 45-20. 45-20. Okay, I don't know what I want to do here. Arizona at Washington. Do I want to stick with my preseason pick, or do I want to go with logic? Arizona. I'll repeat myself a lot in every one of these videos with the point of a team, but hey, that's my opinion and what's what I want to say. Arizona is my off-the-wall team pick to run the table and shock the country. If there's one team, if you had to pick one team to shock the country every year, Arizona is my team for this season. Favorable schedule, like I said earlier, describing other teams. If you're undefeated, you're going to gain momentum and have possibilities to even go farther just off that momentum and the mindset of your team, knowing that you're undefeated, nobody's beat you yet, so you're going to go out and know that you're a winner. Both these teams are undefeated. Washington's looked unstoppable so far, starting off with that Week 1 victory against Boise, and then they went into Illinois, and Illinois played them tough, though, but still they won. Keith Price looks like he's on target. Their tight end's very good, one of the best, if not the best in the country. Defense playing better. And then we move over to Arizona, who's not really been tested yet, but still. Bad defense from a year ago, but they bring back all those, every single starter from a year ago back this season. Good offense. I mean, that Rich Rodriguez system with Kadeem Carey at running back, who is the leading rusher returning from a year ago, who's played pretty well thus far in this season. Oh man, I'm gonna go with the upset pick, playing in Washington, one of the toughest environments in football. I'm gonna stick with my pick though. I'm gonna stick with my gut until they prove me wrong. I'm gonna go Arizona. Kadeem Carey should have a big game. This should be a shootout like crazy. I'll go Arizona 49, Washington 45. This is out of all my picks. If I had a confidence level, like in the bowl picks where you have to put 30 as your most confident pick, as one as your least confident pick. Out of all my picks, if there's 60 games this week, that would be 60. The very least confidence. But I think let's go Arizona. I want you to win with my pick to stay strong. All right, next we have Florida at Kentucky, and I think I said this last week too. If you're a team and you have a good defense, the best defense in the country, let's say Florida has the best defense in the country. If you can't score, any team, no matter how good your defense is going to hang in there. And more than likely, at least one time in the game, they're either going to get a turnover, a big special teams play, maybe even a special teams touchdown, or at least maybe even just the special teams play that gets them in the field goal territory, or maybe just a special teams play that gives them past the 50 and a possibility to at least get, luckily, a first down or so to get them in the field goal territory. And if they kick that field goal and you can't score because your offense is that bad, no good matter how dominant your defense was, you'll lose 3-0. So even if they say defense wins championships, you have to score to win. And with that said, I think Florida has a great defense, but no matter how bad Kentucky is, if you can't score, no matter who you play, the team's going to still be in it. So with that said, I think Kentucky's going to be in this game, maybe until the fourth quarter, more likely the third quarter, maybe just halftime. But I think Kentucky plays tougher than people think and are in this game. Maybe not statistically, but score-wise, because Florida's offense is just that bad, especially with Jeff Driscoll going down. But we have to see if Tyler Murphy can emerge and play good. But not real sure about that. But we'll have to see with how bad their offense has been. But I think they should win, though. They should pull the victory out somehow. I think their defense might end up scoring and having to win it for them. But I'll go Florida something like 24-13 over Kentucky. Florida Atlantic at Rice. Rice, very, very impressive. Great offense. Did get snubbed and lost to Houston last week. But still, I'm really impressed with their quarterback, the running backs that they got, the offense as a whole. They should beat Florida Atlantic by 17 points, 42 to... What is 17 points? 42 to 20. What the frick? Let's just forget that. 42 to 24. I don't know what that is. 20. That is 18. 42 to 25. There we go. There's the mathematical genius in me. 42 to 25. Rice over Florida Atlantic. Wyoming at Texas State. Wyoming, great offense with Brett Smith at quarterback. Texas State hung in with Texas Tech for most of that game, but Texas Tech pulled away at the end. Wyoming offense wins 45 to 24 over Texas State. Tulane at Louisiana Monroe. And the reason I want to say something about Baylor real quick is because Louisiana Monroe is a good team. They have a good offense, and we all know how great they were last season. Well, early on in the season, they beat Arkansas to week 1, which I know Arkansas wasn't as great as they were going to be. We'll expect it to be, but still, it was a big upset at the time, and still beating Arkansas as his program like Louisiana Monroe, that's a big thing. Going to Auburn the next week and almost win. They should have won that game. A Hail Mary lost in the game, going to overtime and lost. and they played Baylor the next week, and that was a close game, a high-powered offensive game. I think it ended up like 50 to 40 something. But Baylor won that game. So the first 3 games of last season, they hung in with big-time BCS programs, and they brought back a lot from that team. I think that the biggest loss they had was like a top wide receiver. They bring back their quarterback who created so many plays, and then going into this game, I predicted like a 50-something to 40-something score with Baylor winning again. Baylor won the game 70 to 7, and I don't think that's really. Let's say I meant 70 to 7. I don't think that's really showing how bad Louisiana Monroe is. I think that's just showing how great Baylor is. Baylor's offense is just as good and maybe even better than it's been in the last couple of years, and that shows their defense is better as well. And if I'm Texas looking for a head coach, Art Briles, man, he's right in your back door. You can sneak him up and get him hired, and heck, if he's doing better than you at Baylor, if he can beat you at Baylor, with Baylor's prospects they get, picture him at Texas with Texas prospects. I mean, that's just simple. If your in-state rival Baylor is beating you and playing better than you with worse players, with worse resources, with worse facilities, picture him at that school, at Texas, with the better recruits, with everything. That's just the most logical thing to me right there, and I mean, how can you not negate what I just said? Okay, why did I get on a big rampage with Baylor? Frick. Because, okay, whatever. This game, Louisiana Monroe, they're still a good team. No, they were blown out, but they still have a good offense that can score any time on the field, any time in the game. And this will be a high-scoring game, but I'll say Louisiana Monroe 42, Tulane 35. Kent State at Western Michigan. Kent State let me down. I thought they were going to hang in against Penn State, but they didn't. Offense couldn't get anything going, but they should beat Western Michigan. Western Michigan, one of the worst teams in football. Let's go 34-10 over Western Michigan. Arkansas State at Missouri. Missouri, are they still undefeated? I think Missouri's the only SEC East team that's still undefeated. Are they 4-0 now? 5-0? I mean 4-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Okay, yeah, they're 3-0. They beat Murray State, Toledo, and Indiana. Well, like I said, man, if you're undefeated, anything can happen. And they should have. This probably should be their toughest game of the season against Arkansas State. Maybe Indiana's tougher, but Arkansas State still, they're a great team. I don't know, never mind, not a great team, but they have good offensive players. Adam Kennedy, a good quarterback. David Oku, a good running back. So I think all in all, it's going to be closer than some people think. I think they'll score some points, but Missouri will remain undefeated, and I think we'll generate some top 25 votes just because they're undefeated, which they should. I mean, frick, if you're undefeated, no matter who you play, it's hard to win every game. Even though it's only 4 games, it's cupcakes, but still. Missouri will win closer than people think, but I'll go 44-30. Missouri over Arkansas State. Sorry, guys, I am feeling like I'm about to fall asleep. God. Okay. Let's chug along. UAB at Vandy. Vandy big. 42-20 over UAB. Let's get the easy games out of the way. Let's list the score so I can try to get this a little bit faster. San Diego State and New Mexico State. Let's go San Diego State 24, New Mexico State 21. UNLV at New Mexico, UNLV 35, New Mexico 24, Air Force at Nevada. I'm not sure if Cody Fajardo's healthy or not, but still, Nevada scored a ton of points, 48-31 over Air Force. Southern Miss at Boise State. Boise State coming off that heartbreaking loss against Fresno, but still, Southern Miss is the country's longest losing streak. Boise State 38, Southern Miss 24. Cal at Oregon should be a blowout of epic proportions. I know Cal can put up some points, but still Oregon can put up more points. 56-34 over Cal, which I think I've said this before. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you're a mediocre team compared to Oregon, they're going to blow you out. I mean, this is how it is. I don't know how they do it. This is how it is. And they play against teams a top tier team, and they either lose or play really close. I don't know how they do it, but they'll blow them out. Frick, I want to change that prediction. Let's go 56-21, because this is more logical to me. Okay, Fresno State at Hawaii. Fresno State will continue scoring some points. Hawaii's quarterback's horrible, even worse than Cody Kessler at USC, and that is bad. He is horrible. Watch that game, Hawaii versus USC, and that was bad. Fresno State, man, 45-14 over Hawaii. Fresno State, finally number 25 in the country. Thank God. They have a chance to be the BCS Buster. I think they're the most logical choice to be the BCS Buster this season. Let's go back to finish. Alright, let's do my video prediction of how long it's been recording so far. I'll go 42 minutes. And I wish it wasn't that long. 45. God, why are they so long? Man, I'm about to fall asleep. I got stuff to do. What do I have to do? I have to go record 2 more videos and have to upload these. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm supposed to read my textbook for history. But I'll have to catch up on that. I have a test this Friday, I think. Okay, I need to print this out for my show tomorrow. God dang it. Wisconsin at Ohio State. Man, I want Wisconsin to win this game so bad. You don't understand. Not a fan of Ohio State, guys, just because I'm not really that big of a fan of Urban Meyer. Wisconsin. Oh, and they play such an easy schedule, man. God, such an easy schedule. It is horrible. Don't even play the toughest. They play one of the weaker schedules out of all the Big Ten teams in conference play, and that's not counting out of conference play. It's a pathetic out of conference schedule. But I don't know if Braxton Miller should be coming back from what I hear, and even if he's not, it's not that big of a drop off. Kenny Guyton, but hey, the stable running backs Wisconsin has in Melvin Gordon, who else do they have? But Joel Stave, their quarterback's a good game manager. I know he kind of had that weird loss against Arizona State, that horrible ending, but still he's been playing pretty well. Coming off a big win against Purdue, 41-10, and their defense is playing well. The Arizona State game, kind of a fluke. We all know Arizona State has a good offense, and they had 2 shutouts to start the season against Tennessee Tech and UMass, which, hey, but they're 3rd in the country right now in rushing yards. I did not know that. 350 yards per game. And that's higher than some triple option teams that run the ball 50 times a game. But oh yeah, wow, how could James White name fall through my mind? But James White, Melvin Gordon, that freshman who's been running really well. They already have over 1,000 yards combined on offense, and you cannot forget James Abernathy, one of the best wide receivers in the country. So, man, a night game, man, this is gonna be a fun game to watch. When Alabama starts at 5:30 or 6, that's Central. Also, I'll probably be able to watch the ending half of this game. But I think Wisconsin can get it done. I think they'll tear up the front 7 of Ohio State. I'm not sold on Ohio State's defense whatsoever. I think Wisconsin has a better defense. If the Micheladas team up player per player, you can't convince me that Ohio State has the better team. They might have the better quarterback, but that's about it. Better running backs goes to Wisconsin, better wide receivers go to Wisconsin, better defense, better offensive line. How can you say Ohio State's a better team than Wisconsin? If you have a better explanation and can prove me wrong, comment below, because I don't believe there is a way. The only way you could say position per position that Ohio State's better is quarterback, and that's it. And Joel Stave is not a bad quarterback. He's just a game manager. Doesn't make mistakes, and he can make some plays too. So even though I think I kind of am biased because I don't like Ohio State, I do think it's really logical to say Wisconsin can win. I'm confident in that. I mean, it's gonna be tough going into the horse show at night. Big game, and they know this is one of their toughest games of the season. But I think Wisconsin can get it done. I would not be surprised if they win by more than a touchdown. I will, but to be safe, I will say Wisconsin 34, Ohio State 27, Ohio State 28. But it could be by 10. If it was more than 10 points, I would not be surprised. And once again, Wisconsin loses the game this season, which is very close. Last season, man, they might have been a top 5 team in the country. They just lost so many games in overtime, last second plays, last minute drives. That's how they've been the last couple seasons. I feel bad for them. They should be a national contender. But I like how Gary Anderson has the program rolling. Okay, 2 more games to go. Stanford at Washington State. I don't know why I did not say this. Washington State, though, they have got better. Their defense specifically has been playing a lot better. Their offense, though, it's going to take some time. We know they can get some yardage. Points come at a premium for them, though. It's hard. It's weird because they do put up some yardage, and they're in the Mike Leach system, which is known for putting up a ton of points. The air raid offense, but they don't have really the players they need in stone just yet. I'm not really sold on Connor Halliday. Make some bad decisions, but if he has a good game, they can stay in this game for a while. Which I do think Washington State don't have the athletes to really compete with Stanford, but their defense that's been playing together as a group have been playing pretty good defense. But Stanford running the ball, Kevin Hogan's a great quarterback. They should pull away in the second half because they have not played really 4 complete quarters this season so far. When they played against Army, they were getting beat early against Army, then came back against Arizona State last week. They were winning big, and in the fourth quarter, almost staged a huge comeback from Arizona State. They scored 3 straight touchdowns, so they haven't played a complete 4 quarters. And for that reason, I think Washington State, at one point or the other, maybe late second quarter, going into the third quarter, will be in the game. But fourth quarter, Stanford, I believe, pulls away. In the third quarter, it also pulls away. I'll say something like 38 to 21. No, I'm not. I don't feel that confident with Washington State getting many points. Let's go 38-17. 38-17. I feel confident in that. And last game, don't know why I didn't say this either. USC at Arizona State. Still not sold on USC whatsoever. They've got their defense. So their offense. I think who else did I compare this to? Oklahoma. Well, pre-Blake Bell starting, their defense is good. USC has a really good defense. Might be the best defense. Arguably either them or Stanford, as of right now, has the best defense in the Pac-12. And now their offense, dear God, it is bad. Cody Kessler is horrible. And until it proves me wrong, I do not think USC can win this game. I think Arizona State, even though USC is a great defense, Arizona State, they can score some points no matter who they're playing. Wisconsin has a great defense, and they score 32 points against them. Wisconsin is averaging 10 points a game, giving up 10 points a game on defense, and Arizona State scored 32. But I think USC holds Arizona State less than their norm, but still, USC won't be able to score. Arizona State will score more, and that's how you win games. I'll say Arizona State 27, USC 14. And that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/S3RTR. And roll Tide, go Sox, no Titans to you. I apologize that I'm tired, but hey, I do this every week pretty much at this time because I usually have a doubleheader at night, and I don't get home. It's a 50-minute drive from my school from South Alabama. But let me go to sleep. Have a great day, guys. Roll Tide, go Sox, no Titans to you. Peace.